It's the Cuomos! Whoa! Starring Andrew and Chris. Cool.
Yeah! One's a perv and the other's got a lot of nerve. Because he brought down Zuck and now he wants 60 million bucks. Welcome to a brand new season of It's the Cuomos. I'm your host, Sandy Duncan. I cannot believe that we got a second season. Tonight's episode, from grabbing ass to grabbing cash. Following Jeff Zucker's CNN exit, disgraced anchor Chris tends to demand as much as a $60 million settlement. Almost $1 million for each one of his viewers. But it's a bargain for helping to destroy CNN's credibility. That number is according to the New York Post, which is owned by our parent company, Tom Cruise. Apparently, Chris, who was canned in December for helping his brother Andrew fend off sexual harassment allegations instead of helping women fend off his brother, will claim that Zucker not only knew about it, but that Zucker had inappropriate dealings with Andrew as well. Said one source, quote, Chris intends to fight for every dollar on his contract and loss of income from the 15 to 20 years left in his career. Yeah. Had Zucker not orchestrated a F job on him. I won't spell that out, Emily, because you're here. Meanwhile, CNN reports the older Cuomo is considering a political comeback. If he gets one nursing home vote, though, I'm alleging fraud. After resigning last summer following sexual harassment allegations, Andrew avoided impeachment, which means he's still eligible to run for office again. Now, this isn't new. He's just following in the footsteps of other disgraced, horny Democrats like Elliot Spitzer and Anthony Weiner, who both tried to run for office once the courts removed their ankle monitors. For more on this, we go live to Larry Cuomo. Yes, the other Cuomo, and some say the smartest but forgotten brother.
Leave me out of this. I'm normal.
Probably this. That's why he's the smartest Cuomo, Joe.
Yes.
He stays out of this mess.
I think that was Shemp Cuomo.
Yeah, it was Shemp. I couldn't get Shemp, but I got Larry. And Mo, he's passed on. What do you think, Joe? Do you think that he has a chance in a comeback? And is Chris Cuomo really, is his career ruined, or is he just saying that?
He said he's got that extra 80 years in the business that he got ripped. 2 weeks ago, I was riding the subway. I don't mean to brag.
Well.
And I saw a woman wearing a Cuomo-sexual T-shirt. And I thought, when's the last time she did laundry?
Yes.
Because it's time to retire that. And then they're back. They're back again. Who's going to be? Avenetti's going to be back. We're going to bring him from jail and run the two of them for president.
That would be fantastic.
It's amazing. I mean, I think it's funny that of all the people to bring down CNN, it's Chris Cuomo.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. His brother running for office again is frightening. I mean, he killed more old people than if he poisoned the early bird special, but I guess we're going to let that slide.
That's a thing that no one talks about.
Yeah.
By the way, I got to bring this up to you because, Tyrus, this is so great. I love how Don Lemon, they used to do that toss.
The love affair
The
is
love
over.
affair. And now he's mad. He's saying that, giving Cuomo money.
Integrity. Yeah, I
Wait,
know.
Don't give Cuomo money because it will show that lack of journalistic integrity is a payoff. These people are awful.
Looks like no more beautiful dinners in the city, Greg. Looks like that's over. You know what? I side with Chris Cuomo. I think he's right. I think I don't know about all the money thing, but 100% Zucker knew what was going on, and he was doing it because he was doing the same thing with Trump. Mm-hmm. So, and he thought he was going to jump from Trump to his big brother, and he was going to ride that to the White House.
Right.
So everything that he did, he was getting advice from 100%.
Yeah.
So I do feel for him that. As far as being disgraced, I don't think so much it's what happening at CNN, but probably the sexual harassment thing. That Zucker is not responsible for that. So I think he's got to deal with that one, but he's going to get some money.
Yeah. Kat, when you look at Chris Cuomo, what would he spend the $60 million on? What do you think?
I don't know. The protein shakes, like glamour shots. I really thought he was going to start an OnlyFans. That was my.
It's coming.
That's what he wants to do.
Yes, he's a flexer.
That's what he. Oh, I am accidentally naked in the background of the photo, or the video. He should just do that. It's crazy because now you know for a fact that they're both actually narcissists because they think Andrew still thinks he's entitled to have power over tens of millions of people, and Chris thinks he's entitled to tens of millions of dollars, even though like they have both screwed up so much that it's like hard to keep all of them straight without forgetting something.
I know. And I think you should get a gold and diamond big block necklace that says, let's get after it. And just wear it and just go walk around
Why
shirtless.
do you got to give him my culture stuff, man? No, hell no. Hell no.
But I just want to see him shirtless, wearing it in the Hamptons, hopping onto a helicopter, a solid gold helicopter.
I mean, whatever that is worth, it's not worth $60 million.
Yes.
These guys are just like the brother herpes, right? Right when you think it's gone away, they just show up again like a disgusting sore or wart. And my favorite part about Andrew trying to make a comeback, by the way, is that he's such a petulant child about it, right? Because we had the AG coming out that is like, well, nothing takes away the fact that multiple investigations concluded credibly that you are a serial harasser and abuser and a lot worse. And he's like, well, I didn't resign because I said I did something bad. I just said because I was a distraction. Like I left the door open, right? He's like the Bitmoji where it's in front of the mirror, like today's gonna be a great day. I can do it. But you know what? The more I thought about it, the more I realized that that would be a gift. That would be a gift to New York politics because all it's going to be is a civil war between the Democrat Party because right now no one's defending him, but no one's also saying that he's a disgusting waste of flesh. And so let them eat each other when it gets to the primaries. Because if it gets all the way, the GOP candidate's going to win.
All right, you stumbled into a good point. I gotta move on. But let's be honest. I know the rest of America doesn't care about this, but he is still better than the current governor.
Yeah.
Kathy Hochul is. They managed to find somebody less appealing than Andrew Cuomo. She's like your crazy aunt, right? Isn't she? I don't know. Anyway, shut up.
Go. I mean, he's a harasser.
Yeah.
He's a harasser.
Yeah.
Like
Confirmed.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like a-
I mean, I don't know.
Debate him, I just bring a big magnet and his nipple rings would rip right out.
There you go. He needs to get maced.
And
He just
nobody
needs to
is
get-
naked and drinks coffee. Nobody ever risks that.
Yeah, that's disgusting. All right. I'm sorry to say shut up to you, by the way.
That's a burn that doesn't go away.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I learned that at McDonald's.
No pants.
They didn't press charges because I was in such pain. Up next, anti-cop policies bring no relief and a crook who snatched all the beef.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.